Hey guys, so I've got my July Craft Beer Club of the Month right here. They sent two breweries, Crazy Mountain Brewing Company, which are these two, and these two are North Country Brewing. As you can see, they sent me cans this time. I think this has been a new thing that they did, because actually on their website you can go and you can choose not to get cans and they'll send you bottles. Personally, I like the cans mainly because of the holders that they have. So if you want to send like a 12-pack of cans to somebody, this is a great package to keep and hold on to, so that you can send them some beers from your place if you do beer trades and that kind of stuff. But so pretty excited. I don't mind getting cans versus bottles. It doesn't really matter to me if it saves them more on shipping costs or production costs, whatever. It most likely means that they're going to be able to spend more money on getting good beer if it saves the company money overall, so I'm not going to be picky about that. So I'm going to start talking about Crazy Mountain Brewing Company first. So they've got two beers. Reading through both of the breweries, they're basically started by couples, and talks about how they chose the spot and kind of how the couples ran and built the brewery into what it is. That's kind of why these brewery news things are kind of cool, to learn a lot more about the breweries. And this one is actually the brewery is only 4 years old, and they've done a whole bunch of expansion. This guy used to work at Anchor Steam in California and then moved out to Colorado, started his own brewery, and you can tell a little bit of Anchor Steam style in these beers, but it's good. It's kind of a fusion. So I've actually tried every beer here at least once before, except for the IPA. I was actually holding off on that, afraid that I would really not like it. So I'm just going to sip on them just to recall what I thought of them. So I'm going to start off with the Mountain Living Pale Ale. It's kind of cloudy color, almost looks a little bit like an unfiltered hef. It's 5.7 ABV, 40 IBUs. Again, not for pale ale, not too bitter. The maltiness is tastes really good, and it's balanced with the hops. It's not too strong. As you see in the description, it says that they have two experimental hop varieties. I don't really know exactly what, but it's nice that it starts bitter. Some people don't like that, but I like pale ales that start bitter and they finish clean, just because if you drink beers that have a high IBU rating, they can build up on you to the point where they just taste really bad after you drink a few of them. But this is very good. The fruit forward, I'm not tasting it very much. I definitely taste the floralness of the hops in there, and I mean it's a pretty good pale ale. Not the greatest, but it is pretty good. So next is the Crazy Mountain Amber Ale, and it's 25 IBUs and 5.25 ABV. Obviously in amber, it's got an amber color to it, not very strong, which actually if you see the Firehouse I'm going to show later, this is the amber, and this is the amber from Crazy Mountain. Definitely got that maltiness that ambers typically have, and it's got a little bit of hoppiness to it, not a significant amount. But this is the one that reminded me of Anchor Steam. It would be kind of it'd be an Anchor Steam if it was to be an amber with a little more hoppiness involved. And it's definitely good. It's got also a different bitterness than the pale ale does. It actually finishes bitter, starts malty, finishes bitter, whereas the opposite is with the pale ale. It starts bitter, the hoppiness, and then finishes malty. So it's kind of cool that there's two different styles, two different approaches to beers here. It's also going to be nice to compare the Firehouse Amber to this amber, but Crazy Mountain, tastes pretty good. Not extremely impressed with them. It's not like I'm going to go out and be like, man, this is delicious, I'm going to go out and try this. It's definitely what this describes it as, is a blend between California style brewing and Colorado style, which most successful craft breweries have been originating from California and Colorado, and those are two of the styles that I typically like. And so these are kind of a blend between those two, which I wouldn't say it brings about all the best characters of both of those different methods to brewing, but it definitely is a unique take on each of those places' ideas of how they do brewing. Alright, so I'm actually going to move to the Firehouse just in case the IPA is really strong. I don't want it to make it seem like the amber's more bitter than it is. So next is North Country, and they're from Pennsylvania. The Station 33 Firehouse Red, it actually is named after a local firehouse there, and they donate 5% of all the sale of this beer to the firehouse itself. It's kind of a cool thing. And it's an Irish red, which I was wrong. I thought it was an amber, but they typically have the same amount of color. This is the color of amber that you typically want to achieve when you have an amber beer. And it's got 5.5 ABV. There's no IBU rating on it, probably just because it's a smaller brewery. They're not going to put the IBV, but I can tell you that it's not extremely hoppy, or not intended to be. And this beer is the one that just struck a chord with me when I started drinking it. It's pretty much perfect as far as what you would like a easy drinking Irish red to be. It's not exactly in the style of Irish red, but it is definitely an enjoyable Irish red to drink. It says it's got a light hoppy finish. I would agree with that. And it's like a standard beer that you're going to drink, not a pale ale or anything, but those type of lighter beers that you're going to be drinking, or even an amber that doesn't have too much bitterness to it due to the hops. And I don't know, it's just, of course, got the maltiness, but the Irish red characters there just stand out really well. So very happy with this one. Can't really complain about it at all, other than maybe they didn't send me more of them. That might be my only complaint. So next is the Paleo IPA. So again, like I said, I've tried all of these at least once before doing the video. This one I have not. The way that they did this is they did it how the original way that they did IPA. So IPA stands for India Pale Ale, and the reason why is that when they made beer in England, they would put them in oak barrels, and to keep the beer fresh and to last the trip from England all the way to India, they would dry hop it. And so that's kind of what they did with this. It doesn't say specifically that they actually used an oak barrel, but yeah, it doesn't. But it's supposed to be as close to the original style as they could get, and so they definitely dry hop this, which most IPAs, it's dumb if they don't dry hop it, because then you're not going to get a lot of those IPA type flavors in your beer and aromatics that you want. So I mean, it definitely smells floral and fruity. It's not a super strong IPA. Basically, I'm going to compare it to Stone IPA, and I fucking hate Stone IPA. It's way too strong for me. But this is about a step below that as far as the bitterness and hoppiness is concerned. It's It's very light, not too malty. It is an enjoyable beer to drink. Some of the stronger pale ales this might compare a little bit with, not being as malty, but not having the key strong bitterness that you get. And that's most likely due to the bittering hops. So if you dry hop more than you add hops during the boil, during your brewing process, you're going to get more aromatics out of dry hopping versus bitterness. So you can get a little bit of flavor out of them by dry hopping, but mainly you're going to get it if you actually throw it in the boil, where it brings out all the oils of the hops themselves. So I can't really say anything else. Like, the lemon citrus definitely is there. I would argue that this is probably the lightest beer of the group. Most people, like, I would argue IPAs are not an introductory beer for most beer drinkers, but as far as the content of the beer without the hoppiness, it's easily the lightest. So I'm just going to wrap it up and finish off these 4 beers, but very happy with this package that I got. Just the variety that they gave me, the theme kind of that they threw around in there, with how the breweries operate and who actually runs them and how they got started. Always cool information to know. The beer quality that they sent is good enough. I live in a place where I have to drive an hour and a half to even get craft beer, so it's nice to get something different, something that's nearby and one state away, and then another that's on the complete other side of the country that I probably will never get a chance to visit that brewery. So that's why I like the big mix, but overall very happy. Yes, it's $39 for getting basically a 12-pack of beer, but the beers that I'm going to be having that I've never had before is worth it to me so far. This is probably the only box that I'm glad I'm paying extra. I'm okay with paying extra in order to get things sent to me rather than going out to the store and getting them myself, just because these are not available where I'm at. And they also focus on smaller breweries that even finding these beers, you may have to go like to the same county that these beers are made in. So, gonna end it there. Happy with this box. Hopefully they continue to send more good beer like this. I'm really excited if they're gonna start sending. I'm really into imperial stouts right now. By the way, if you guys get a chance, it's summer. There's an amazing beer. It comes in a can. If you can find it on tap, it's even more amazing because it's actually been aged in whiskey barrels. But it's called 1050, and it comes in a silver can. It's from a brewery in Colorado, and it's one of the best imperial stouts I've ever had. So if you can find that, grab a bunch of them, drink them down, put some away, and totally worth it. Those beers are just awesome. Can't rave enough about that quality of beer. So if you see that, go give them a try, especially if you like heavy, strong beers. Pretty much the perfect one to get right now since it's a summer seasonal. If you guys have any more recommendations or anything else, I know there's some people that really want to see more beer videos. I'm working on that for you guys. If you guys want to see like a breakdown of the brewing process of how brewing goes, I can kind of either point you guys in the right direction with somebody on a YouTube channel that does it much better than I could explain it, or I can kind of do like a time lapse of me doing a brewing process, and that way you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about when I'm referencing some things in here. So thanks for watching. I've got tons of other videos, and if there's anything that you would like to see, please leave in the comments below and I will check it out for you. Thanks.